Everybody keeps saying the US housing market is finished. Prices sky high, bidding wars, people touring $300,000 homes that look like crime scenes. But what if I told you there are 6 places where homes still sell fast, values are rising, and entire job sectors are quietly booming while everyone else is rage tweeting about mortgage rates? Today, we're counting down the top 6 emerging US real estate markets in 2025. Places where the math makes sense, the lifestyle is shockingly good, and you might catch yourself saying, wait, why does this actually look livable? Let's start with number 6. Number 6, Providence, Rhode Island. Providence is that kid in school who's already smart, already popular, and somehow still tries hard. Homes here aren't cheap. Zillow values sit around $420,000, and Redfin has the median sale price around $515,000. Yet homes move fast, sometimes in 2 to 4 weeks. Strange flex, Providence, but okay. The secret sauce? It steals Boston's thunder. Living in Boston can feel like paying rent to the Boston Tea Party ghosts. Providence, though? Same coastal vibe, cobblestone beauty, Ivy League sprinkled streets. But the prices feel slightly less criminal. That's enough to keep demand steady. The universities here do half the recruiting for real estate. Brown University, Rhode Island School of Design, teaching hospitals, nonprofits, and finance jobs. Translation: young professionals arrive, fall in love with strong coffee, waterfront sunsets, and say, sure, I'll overpay for a condo with exposed brick. Picture this: summer night along the river, bonfires floating across the water. Waterfire, Providence's most cinematic ritual. Music spills from the waterfront. Strangers stand around silently pretending they're in a Netflix romance. Head a bit further and you hit Federal Hill, Providence's Italian district, red sauce dinners, neon signs over pasta bars, cobblestone plazas that feel like someone copy-pasted a slice of Rome into New England. And the city has layers. There's Benefit Street, historic homes with impossibly tidy porches, RISD Museum with art that makes you think you're cooler than you really are, a walkable riverfront park where locals sit pretending their iced latte excuses their rent. But Providence is a spicy investment profile. The upside is appreciation and stability. The downside is taxes that could make you rethink life in a weak moment. Old housing stock means sometimes you inherit 1927 wiring and a medieval-era basement. Also, starter home is starting to mean hope you married rich. Still, this market wins because buyers aren't fleeing, they're staying. Homes go under contract twice as fast as the national average, and demand stays tight. Providence is less about instant cash flow and more about bragging rights in 10 years. Think long-term hold, generational wealth, espresso in hand. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful, resilient, and knows its worth, which makes it the most Providence thing ever. All right, if Providence is the posh cousin who reads poetry and knows wine pairings, number 5 is the friendly Midwestern sibling who hands you ribs and says, welcome home. Number 5, Kansas City, Missouri. Number 5, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City is the city that doesn't scream for attention, it just wins quietly. The homes are priced like somebody still respects first-time buyers. Zillow pegs the average around $242,000, while other reports set median prices near $293,000, still way below national levels. Pair that with 14-day pending rates, and suddenly you realize buyers aren't browsing, they're committing. Its magic trick? Kansas City is evolving without changing its personality. It's growing, but it never stops smelling like smoked brisket and blues music. One reason investors are circling? Jobs. A massive Panasonic EV battery project in nearby DeSoto promises around 4,000 jobs, plus spin-off industries. Warehousing, transport, logistics, construction. Money moves here the way barbecue sauce moves on a white shirt, fast and unavoidable. Unlike markets where appreciation is either dramatic or dead, Kansas City is the relaxed middle ground. Prices inch upward, rents grow, and investors get to sleep at night. It's less crypto boom and more consistent payroll energy. Walk the city and you see why people stay. The National WWI Museum and Memorial stands like a stone guardian over the skyline. Nelson Atkins Museum of Art hides giant shuttlecock sculptures on its lawn. Yes, giant badminton birdies. Locals treat it like modern art. Outsiders treat it like giant outdoor toys. Then there's 18th and Vine, the birthplace of jazz legends. Neon signage, deep horns echoing from bars, the Negro League's baseball museum tying culture to history, and when night falls, Power and Light District wakes up with rooftop bars and live shows where your friend who doesn't dance mysteriously becomes a dancer. Kansas City has a trick up its sleeve. Affordability that attracts people from California, Chicago, and Texas who suddenly understand what it feels like to afford space. You can get a 3-bedroom home, yard, garage, and maybe a smoker grill, all without sacrificing organs. But Kansas City isn't a YOLO flip market. Appreciation here is small, but stubborn, like that last piece of barbecue ribs stuck to your shirt. Buyers and landlords play the long game. Rent stability, population inflows, long-term corporate projects. The catch? It's not glamorous. Some neighborhoods need reinvestment. Winters hit harder than expected, and if you're waiting for Miami-level excitement, Kansas City will simply hand you a pulled pork sandwich and say, "You're welcome." Yet that's its charm. It doesn't pretend. It just works. Solid schools, strong employer base, community feel, predictable performance. It's the kind of place where the neighbor lends tools and everyone somehow owns a grill. That's why it earns number 5. It's boring in the best way. And in real estate, boring is where the money sleeps soundly. Next up, we're heading to a city investors used to overlook, but now the numbers are making them blush. Number 4, Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford is the kid nobody invites to group projects, and then ends up carrying the whole team anyway. For years, investors skimmed past this city like it was the terms and conditions section of a website. Now, Hartford's numbers are popping off like someone finally turned the lights on. Start with the stats. Zillow has the average home value around $195,000, up 7.3% year over year. And homes here don't linger. They go pending in about 10 days, which is faster than your coffee order at a busy Starbucks. Hartford may not scream hot market, but it's quietly outperforming places with way more hype. What's causing this glow up? Connecticut's economy has been punching above its weight lately. GDP? Up 4.6% annualized. That's not a typo, 4.6%. Hartford benefits directly because it's the beating heart of insurance, finance, healthcare, and advanced manufacturing. Translation: high-skilled jobs, stable employers, and people who can afford mortgages without calling their parents. But here's the part people don't expect. Hartford is genuinely beautiful. Like, take a picture and pretend you're in a movie, beautiful. Picture Bushnell Park in autumn. Trees exploding with color, joggers pretending they're in a Nike ad, families picnicking like they actually enjoy each other. You've got the Connecticut River winding along the city, perfect for long walks where you contemplate your life choices and suddenly feel okay again. Then there's the Mark Twain House, this stunning Victorian mansion where Twain wrote some of his best work. You step inside and instantly understand why he never moved. If my office looked like that, I'd write masterpieces too. And Hartford doesn't try too hard. It has old-school charm, brick buildings, historic streets, museums tucked inside neighborhoods, coffee shops where everyone pretends they're working on a novel. It's wholesome? Still, it's not a fairy tale. Some homes sit longer than expected, and the city has its quieter pockets that need love. But honestly, that's part of the appeal. You can still find value. You're not fighting off 17 cash buyers and an emotional support dog just to win a starter home. Hartford's energy feels like this. I may not be loud, but I'm consistent, I'm affordable, I'm appreciating, and I have jobs. Investors love consistency. Renters love affordability. And homeowners love the idea of not needing a GoFundMe to buy property. That's why Hartford takes number 4. Not flashy, not chaotic, just solid. Like the friend who shows up on time, brings snacks, and offers to drive. All right, grab your snow boots. Number 3 is colder, but the deals are hotter. Number 3, Buffalo, New York. Don't let the snow fool you. Buffalo is heating up. This city is like the friend who shows up to the party wearing a giant winter coat, then takes it off and reveals a tuxedo. Nobody saw it coming. Let's address the elephant or the blizzard in the room. Yes, Buffalo gets snow. A lot of it. But apparently buyers don't care because homes here are moving fast. Zillow pegs the average home value around $237,500, up about 3.6% year over year. Listings jump into contract in about 13 days. Some neighborhoods, faster. Buffalo is moving like it's late for work. And here's the wild part. It's one of the last remaining places in the Northeast where you can buy a home without selling your soul. The median listing price sits around $229,900, and you still get square footage, yards, basements, porches, actual space. New Yorkers touring Buffalo walk into a 3-bedroom home and whisper, "Wait, this is legal?" Jobs are the quiet backbone here. Healthcare, education, and research dominate, thanks to the university at Buffalo, major hospitals, and biotech growth. People move here for stability and stay because life is simpler. Affordable homes plus stable jobs equals investors rubbing their hands like cartoon villains. Now for the beauty part, because Buffalo is gorgeous in shockingly cinematic ways. Start with Canalside, a waterfront district with boardwalks, food trucks, ice skating in winter, kayaks in summer, and concerts you stumble into accidentally. Sunsets over Lake Erie are orange and pink, the kind that make you momentarily forgive winter. Take a short drive and boom, Niagara Falls, one of the most dramatic natural wonders in the world. It's loud, it's misty, it's powerful, and it makes you feel tiny in the best way. The architecture here is underrated. Frank Lloyd Wright homes, grand Victorian mansions, pocket neighborhoods that feel like storybooks. Add in a killer food scene. Buffalo wings were born here. It's holy ground, friendly locals, and a sense of community that big cities lost long ago. Of course, it's not perfect. Winters are aggressive. When Buffalo says, "We got a little snow," they mean bring a shovel the size of a small canoe. And some older houses need the HGTV treatment. But real investors aren't scared of snow. They're scared of overpriced markets with no upside. Buffalo delivers the opposite: affordability, velocity, charm, and real long-term potential. That's why Buffalo earns number 3. It's cozy, quirky, surprisingly beautiful, and full of opportunity, if you can handle the cold. Ready for number 2? This market is warm, competitive, and powered by tech giants who definitely don't sleep. Number 2, Richmond, Virginia. Richmond is the person who looks quiet at first glance, then casually mentions they run ultramarathons for fun. Nothing about this city screams for attention, yet the housing market behaves like 20 people fighting over the last Krispy Kreme donut. Homes go pending in roughly 12 days, sometimes less, even though Zillow shows prices hovering around $358,000, basically flat year over year. Translation? Buyers aren't here for the discounts. They're here for the lifestyle and the long game. The secret engine is tech. Richmond has become a data center magnet, pulling in billions of dollars in infrastructure. Entire meadows are turning into server farms, humming away like giant digital beehives. And where tech money goes, job growth follows. Thousands of workers, contractors, engineers, they all need places to live. Suddenly, that ranch-style home you ignored last year has 10 offers and a waiting list. The city also benefits from its favorite love-hate relationship: Washington, D.C. People who can't pay D.C.'s "your rent is now a luxury car payment" prices come here for breathing room. Richmond offers yards, porches, parking, oh, the luxury, and mortgage payments that don't require a second job narrating audiobooks. And Richmond is gorgeous, like genuinely, unexpectedly gorgeous. Picture sunsets on the James River, where kayakers glide across glassy water and everyone looks like they're filming a commercial for a health insurance company. The Canal Walk gives you murals, bridges, hidden historical plaques, and the kind of golden hour lighting that makes even an average selfie look deep and introspective. Drive around and you feel the layers. Cobblestone streets in Shockoe Bottom, pastel historic homes in Church Hill, modern restaurants tucked into 200-year-old brick buildings. You'll find food that makes you close your eyes and breathe her in slow. Biscuits, smoked meats, craft breweries everywhere. If you love history, Richmond has entire neighborhoods that look like they went untouched since George Washington ghosted someone's text message. But Richmond isn't perfect. Competition is real. Some homes hit the market and disappear faster than you can say, conventional loan. And the presence of those data centers comes with grumbling about energy use and rising utility prices. But that's Richmond. Beautiful, charming, slightly chaotic, and growing fast enough to make economists raise an eyebrow. Richmond earns number 2 because it balances everything: lifestyle, affordability, compared to DC, job growth, and demand. It's the gateway city that starts as a compromise and somehow becomes the dream. Now for number 1, the market that does everything right while pretending it's just vibing. Number 1, Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis is the friend who insists they're not that interesting. But then you visit and realize they've been secretly thriving. Affordable homes, strong job growth, fast sales. This city is the definition of casually excellent. Start with the numbers, because they're shockingly kind. Zillow puts the average home value around $227,000, up 1.5% year over year. Yet when well-priced homes list, they fly off the shelf in 12 to 20 days. One report even shows 8 to 10% appreciation in certain neighborhoods, with 65% of homes under $250,000 getting multiple offers. In a country where starter homes have basically turned into mythical artifacts, Indianapolis is still playing fair. And the jobs? Indianapolis wakes up every morning and chooses productivity. Manufacturing expansions, tech outfits, healthcare giants, finance companies, sports-related economic boosts, you name it. Indiana's life sciences wages alone sit well above the state average, and growth has been climbing nonstop. That means a steady stream of well-paid workers, which means demand doesn't just stick around, it multiplies. But beyond the numbers, Indy is beautiful in a steady, wholesome, almost cinematic way. Imagine the Indianapolis Canal Walk at sunset, water reflecting pink and orange, cyclists cruising by, couples strolling like they're in a Hallmark movie, and street musicians playing melodies that linger in the air. Then there's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a monument to speed, roaring engines, and adrenaline. Even if you don't follow racing, walking through the museum feels like stepping into America's fast-paced history book. Neighborhoods have personalities. Broad Ripple is artsy and colorful. Fletcher Place gives you award-winning restaurants and craft cocktails. Meridian Kessler brings tree-lined streets and gorgeous historic homes that make you rethink your budget. Everything feels accessible, welcoming, human, and the food? Indianapolis takes comfort food personally. Think brick oven pizzas, farm-to-table brunch spots, hearty Midwestern plates, and enough cafes to make your caffeine addiction feel socially acceptable. Of course, Indy isn't a perfect unicorn. Competition for anything affordable is fierce. Under $300,000 listings sometimes feel like a competitive sport. People touring homes with the focus of Olympic athletes. And yes, winters arrive with attitude. But here's the thing. Indianapolis gives you value. Real value. A mix of affordability, upward momentum, economic growth, rental demand, and livability that's getting harder to find anywhere else. It's stable without being boring, growing without being chaotic, and attractive without being overpriced. That's why it sits at number 1. Not because it's flashy, but because it's dependable, beautiful, opportunity-rich, and surprisingly fun. If you're looking for a market that balances it all, Indy doesn't just make the list, it leads it. So that's the countdown. 6 cities quietly winning while the rest of the country complains. Which one surprised you the most? And which one would you move to tomorrow? Let me know. Your future favorite city might already be on this list.